Hello, everybody. So we have some news that came out recently, a new signing on the Packers. We have signed a USFL star. He actually has the league record for the most receiving yards in a game with 154 yards. I know the USFL just started, but at least that's something. So it came out. The Packers have signed tight end Sal Canella. It came out here from Packers.com saying the Green Bay Packers have signed tight end Sal Canella. General Manager Brian Gutekunst announced the transaction Thursday. Canella, 6'5", 242, is a first-year player who began his college career at Scottsdale, Arizona Community College in 2016 before playing for Auburn University from 2017 to 2019. He played in the Spring League in 2020 to 21 and spent time with the Miami Dolphins during the 2021 training camp. Earlier this year, Canella played for the New Orleans Breakers of the USFL, where he was named to the All-USFL team. He will wear number 84, the Packers. But if you guys have not followed me on Instagram, I'm at Real Sideline Scoop on Instagram. I'm putting stuff out there sometimes before I put it out on here on YouTube. So if you want to see up-to-date Packers news, make sure you go follow me over there. So I don't know about you guys. I caught maybe 3 minutes of one USFL game. I think I was at my grandparents' house 4 months ago, and we just turned the TV on and there it was. But besides that, I didn't watch a single game. So I don't know too much about the USFL. Maybe some of you guys have become diehard fans and you know more about Sal Canella, but I had not heard about this guy until today. And so I went and I watched some of his highlight videos. There's a few on there if you search on YouTube. I would show you clips here, but unfortunately when I show highlight clips, I get copyrighted and don't make money, so I don't do that. But if you want to go see that video, go search it up after you watch this video. And honestly, he looks like a very talented player in his USFL highlights. I mean, when you're 6'5", 242, he seems like he has some pretty solid hands. He gets open a good amount of the time. He had 34 receptions for 368 yards and 2 touchdowns while he was in the USFL. So I'm guessing Brian Gutekunst has all these scouts that work for the Packers watching the USFL because you probably, see some talent there, say, okay, let's bring him in here. Just like at times in the past, we brought in Reggie Begelton a few years ago from Canada. So you never know who could potentially come in and surprise, and maybe Sal Canella could be a gem found by Brian Gutekunst. I hope it happens that way. We'll see. But now when we look at the Packers' current tight end situation, we now have 8 tight ends on this roster, on this 90-man roster. And, of course, before the season starts, right before the season starts, we have to get down to 53. So when we look at tight ends right now with 8 different tight ends on this roster, including Sal Canella, last year the Packers only kept 4 tight ends. So is there a chance that this guy makes the roster? So here are my thoughts on that. So I want to look at each of these tight ends and then give my prediction on what I think is going to happen. So first off, of course, we have Robert Tonyan, who has been dealing with that injury he suffered last year, torn ACL, and we still don't know if he's going to be able to start the season. It's likely he's not going to be, and there's a chance he starts out on the PUP list, so he could miss probably at least the first 4 games of the season. So here's my take on this situation. If Robert Tonyan starts off on the PUP list, I think there's a chance Sal Canella could make this roster because outside of Robert Tonyan, a few other guys who I think will make the roster, I say Mercedes Lewis, who we have here, who has been here for a very long time or has been in the league a very long time. I think Mercedes Lewis will make the roster just because of his blocking ability. He's still being very productive. We have Tyler Davis, who has been praised a good amount by Brian Gutekunst and a few other of the coaches as well, who started to look pretty good last year in a few different moments. He didn't produce that much. He only had 4 receptions for 35 yards, but I feel like there could be some promise there. So I think we'll keep Mercedes, Tyler Davis, and then Josiah DeGuara as well, who last offseason was dealing with an injury, so he didn't really have time to focus on everything besides, healing his injury up. So this offseason, he has had time to work on his craft besides dealing with that injury rehab. So maybe he takes a step forward. So with those 4 guys, including Robert Tonyan, I think that if Tonyan starts on the PUP list, I think Mercedes, Tyler Davis, and Josiah DeGuara will make the roster. And then I think that from what I saw from my highlight, my 2 minutes of highlights that I watched, I'm not a scout, so don't take all my word for this. They're probably guys who have watched all this tape, but I watched 2 minutes and he looks good to me. And I think that because he was able to produce in the USFL at least, maybe he can push his way above guys like Dominique Daphne, Alize Mack, as well as Eli Wolf. I think it could happen. So we will see what happens here at the tight end position. There are some question marks just with Robert Tonyan being injured, and hopefully when Robert Tonyan comes back healthy, he can get back to his former self, where back in the year of 2020, he put up that crazy year with 12 touchdowns and 60 receptions for 668 yards. So hopefully when Robert Tonyan comes back, Aaron Rodgers will have another player out there that he trusts, who can sort of be one of those safety blanket guys who can just find an open spot in the zone. Rodgers can just hit him, and I think that will lead to this Packers offense being much more efficient. So, but until that time, maybe Sal Canella can be the bridge to keep us all together. Maybe he's the missing piece in this entire Packers team. Maybe that's a little bit of exaggeration, but you never know. You never know. I didn't think Rasul Douglas last year was going to be one of the bigger factors on this team the second they got him off a practice squad. So you never know what could happen. Maybe Sal is going to be a beast in the league and no one knows it yet. Who knows? We will see. But stay tuned for more Packers content. If you guys want to see more of it, feel free to turn on your post notifications so that way every time I make a video, you get a little ding on your phone notifying you that I made a video. So feel free to do that. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, Real Sideline Scoop on Instagram. But that is all for today, and I'll see you guys next time.